Now, if you want to catch the live stream, you're going to need to do two things, all right? You're going to need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then go down to the description, all right? And then you're going to see my Twitch. Yes, I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm back and I'm streaming on Twitch, so follow me there. Join the live stream. Be part of the UDG gang, you feel me? And, you know, get the latest and greatest. All right, we're going to get right into the mess. All right, last week, Wednesday, TikTok came upon a letter, all right? And this wasn't an ordinary letter. This wasn't a love letter. This wasn't a letter but it did provoke emotion. This letter did provoke emotion, all right? TikTok unexpectedly was just, first, it was contained. This letter was contained amongst 2 million people on TikTok. This, relative to the size of how many people actually are on TikTok, is very small. But what followed after was what made this letter blow up. And you may be wondering, well, who wrote the letter? What was in the letter to make it popular? And what followed afterwards to make it balloon into an event, you know, a TikTok event? Well, this letter wasn't a love letter. No, it was a breakup letter. It was a 13 Reasons Why letter. It was that type of letter, alright? It was a letter listing out an epiphany, a proclivity, a library sum, alright, of reasons why 9/11 happened. Now, you may see, you may have seen this, or you may have heard of this, or you may just be like me and just now heard of this, and you might be filled with confusion right now. You might, a letter filled with brimming reasons. Now, I'm not saying these reasons were justifiable to why 9/11 happened, but these reasons were justifiable to the person, alright? To the person on why 9/11 happened, alright? To the author of these letters, this is why 9/11 happened, and this is why it was justified. And it was ballooning off TikTok. Now, the letter itself was only, like I said before, contained to a small group of about 2 million people. Now, 2 million is not, in any other regard, alright, 2 million may not seem like a small number, but compared to the masses on TikTok, 2 million is adequately sized. Is not very big. It's something that can blow over. You might have heard about it, you might have not, but not everyone's gonna know, you know? But unfortunately, like giving your entitled brother a piece of candy. Oh shit, hold on. You know what? Chat, yeah, it was an Amber Alert. It was an Amber Alert. I ignored it. And I'm getting back to the video. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting lives on the line. Alright? I'm ignoring calls of emergency. The FBI, the CIA, the police have my direct number and calling me in times of crisis. I ignore them to entertain you. So please subscribe, damn it. Anyway. This letter containing reasons on why 9/11 was justified was contained to a small number, relatively small number compared to TikTok, on TikTok, of 2 million people. Now TikTok, seeing the letter, seeing what it contained, promptly banned it. properly branded. You know, like a Black Lives Matter protest, they crack down and they crack down swift and hard. You know what I'm saying? But just like a Black Lives Matter protest, the crackdown only inspired more upheaval. Because once people realize you can't have something, people just want it more. You know what I'm saying? So now, instead of being contained to 2 million people, 15 million people are now liking, sharing the contents of this letter on why 9/11 was justified. And am I saying, I did listen, I did read the letter, alright? I did read the letter to be more well informed in my answer. Am I saying 9/11 is justifiable? No. Am I saying the contents of the letter on why they're justifying 9/11 are untrue? No. They are true on what the things that have occurred before 9/11 for them to use as justification. Let me use my words carefully here. But I'm not saying those things justify 9/11. And you may be curious. What type of sicko, alright? What type of person in the right mind would try to go out of their way in 2023 and justify a terrorist attack? What inspired such careless audacity? Well, the person, you'll be happy to know, is dead, alright? In fact, they've been dead for a very, very, very long time. This person is no other than the Big O, the hide-and-seek champ himself, Osama bin Laden. Alright, Osama bin Laden did write the letter. It's, if you want to look it up, it's called A Letter to America. This letter, along with, who wrote it, gained notoriety from the TikTok authorities. And they said, no. We're not gonna have you people go around getting on planes and trying to cause 9/11 the sequel. Alright? We saw what happened when we tried to go down the Titanic. You know what I'm saying? The Titan. Alright? And we're unlike the Titan, we're not going to be crushed under the pressure of these terrorists making their horrible justifications for horrible actions. Now, you may be asking, I'm that guy. What did the letter contain? Did it contain ridiculous, inconsequential events? Maybe even fever dreams this man has had? Well, no. Osama bin Laden did write this letter, and it was I would say, a history on American foreign policy. Now, if you don't know anything about American foreign policy, is that the United States is notoriously horrible at foreign policy. Horrible. Terrible. Specifically when it comes to interventions. Most countries don't have a great track record when it comes to interventions either. But the United States in particular finds a horrible situation and thinks, man, I can fix you. I can make you better. I can make you better than yourself. Of course, this better than yourself version they want to make is nothing but a puppet to be easier for them to control. You know what I'm saying? This better version. But as we all know, these interventions backfire almost 100% of the time. You know, I don't think there was one good intervention that was done by the United States that has helped a situation that was already bad from going to worse, you know? In the letter, and we'll go over it, we might go over it in a video, but in the letter it contained things like the Iraq War, the war in Syria, the war in Somalia, the war in, it was of course written in the past, so the war in Afghanistan. And all of these wars, along with many other wars, like the war, well, I wouldn't even call it a war, but I would say the genocide going down in Palestine. Along with these things, Osama bin Laden used as causality, reasons for the justifications of 9/11, of course. Justifying a egregious terrorist act like 9/11 would be only left would be only be sane, all right, be sane to a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? The likes of Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy, you know what I'm saying, may even look in disgust, all right, trying to justify an action like 9/11. Alright? Now I say that to say this. That, as we see here in 2023, with our future vision, our hindsight, alright? We're past 2020 hindsight, now we're into 2023 hindsight, that, yes, all these invasions were terrible. All these continuing invasions are terrible. Do I support any of these interventions that the United States have done? No, I don't like them. I don't like any form of imperialism, of oppression, of anything of that nature. But I would not use those as justifications to go and kill random people. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say because Sally punched Jeffrey, that means I get to kill Sally's whole family. The equivalent. I'm not saying 9/11 is equivalent to what the United States have done in Iraq. I'm not saying 9/11 is worse than what the United States has done in Iraq. Let me get this straight. I'm saying what the United States does with their foreign policy does not give you reasonable justified actions to go and commit terrorism yourself. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it involves people who most likely have don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Are oblivious to the scenario, to your plea. All right. Now we have covered that. We covered the Osama bin Laden letter. All right, letter to America.